15 highest paying remote jobs. Remote work is on the rise. While having the ability to work from outside of a corporate office has been feasible for a few decades, working remotely is only now becoming mainstream. You may have even heard the phrase tossed around in casual conversation, "I'm working remotely now," or "I've been able to travel and take my job with me." You nod your head as you listen to these people extol the flexibility of their lifestyles and the benefits that they've seen in their professional lives because they can work remotely, but you still have a few questions. Remote work is a working lifestyle that allows professionals to work outside of a traditional office environment. It is based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successfully. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our subsequent videos. If you're all about cutting out the commute to work along with your carbon footprint and getting your day's tasks done in your living room, there's never been a better time to do it, especially with the highest paying remote jobs we will be discussing about. It's no secret, for quite a few years now, it's the way the world of work has been headed. 2020 just pushed it full stream ahead, with Forbes describing remote work as a win-win for freelancers, organizations, and employees. But whether you're already working in your PJs or looking into making that move out of the office, there's a question that's probably on your mind: which remote jobs pay the best? We've done our homework on this one, so let's dive in and take a look. Number 1. Web app or software developer, $70,000 to $130,000 a year. A web developer is a programmer who specializes in or is specifically engaged in the development of World Wide Web applications using a client-server model. The applications typically use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in the client's PHP, ASP.NET, Python, Node.js, Go, or Java in the server, and HTTP for communications between client and server. Web developers are found working in various types of organizations, including large corporations and governments, small and medium-sized companies, or alone as freelancers. Some web developers work for one organization as a permanent full-time employee, while others may work as independent consultants or as contractors for an agency or at-home personal use. No prizes for guessing that a lot of the most lucrative remote jobs are in the tech industry. Just look at Facebook, who announced last year that within a decade half of their employees will be working online. And the first item on the list covers a bunch of jobs with slightly differing titles and varying tasks, but we decided to bundle them in together as they require more or less the same skill set, especially when you're starting out. With any of these job titles, you'll be programming and testing the latest apps, websites, and software. To get your foot in the door, some kind of qualification in programming or computer science definitely helps, but even more important is experience using your programming knowledge. Developing for iOS is especially in high demand and can add on to your salary. And as you'll be working in a team over a teleconferencing apps, being a team player is essential. Number 2. UX/UI designer, $90,000 to $120,000 a year. On the topic of programmers working inside a team, a UX/UI designer is another key member of that team. If you're unsure at what the initials stand for, it's user experience or user interface, strictly speaking different things, but often rolled into the same job. Still not sure what they do? If you've ever used an app or website that was either difficult or impossible to use, yep, they forgot to hire a UX designer. UX and UI designers work on the layout of apps and websites as they are being developed and focus on making them as user-friendly as possible. It's somewhere between a designer and developer, so you need some of both skill sets. A qualification in something computer or design related will come in handy, but even more important, an impressive portfolio of what you've done. Number 3. Data scientist, data analyst, $110,000 to $130,000 a year. A data analyst collects, processes, and performs statistical analysis on large datasets. They discover how data can be used to answer questions and solve problems. With the development of computers and an ever-increasing move toward technological intertwinement, data analysis has evolved. When you hear the words data scientist, the word sexy might not be the first one to come to your mind, but the Harvard Business Review disagree that they've been named in the sexiest job of the 21st century. In a world of big data, with more information on our fingertips than ever, it pays well if you can unravel all the data to find trends and solve problems for businesses. That could involve anything from figuring out what ads will have the highest click rates to where house prices are going to go in the next 10 years. For this job, you need excellent computer and math skills, as well as enough intuition to figure out what the data is telling you, and communication skills so you can explain what the data is saying. A qualification in either math, statistics, or computing is desirable. And as the internet has made data available to anyone in the internet connection, you'll be able to work anywhere you want as long as you have the said internet connection. Data science is the science of future, and it definitely produces the highest paying remote jobs. Number 4. Project manager, $75,000 to $110,000 a year. This is a job description for somebody who could be working in a number of sectors. Areas like software app and web development are common, but it could be setting up a team or a new branch of a firm, Project managers coordinate all the individual tasks and processes needed to reach a given target. It can be anything, whether it's developing a piece of software or setting up a branch of a company. That means you need a background in the industry you're looking at. A track record of managing people also helps. But on top of all this, the job requires you to be really organized. Working remote isn't an option for all project manager roles, but with more teams using web conferencing to communicate, it's becoming more and more common. Number 5. Sales consultant, $60,000 to $80,000. Being a hotshot salesperson pays well, but on average you'll be doing even better as a sales consultant. Basically, a sales consultant analyzes a company's sales techniques and finds ways on improving them. That could mean creating customized courses for sales reps or helping them find new ways of looking for customers and researching what they need. More and more companies are now hiring remote sales consultants, especially if they are in a niche market that requires special expertise. To get into it, the biggest requirement is being able to show you're great at sales and great at coaching people in sales technique. Number 6. Accountant, $65,000 to $80,000 a year. Next up, a job that hasn't been around a lot longer than the internet, but that's been heading in the direction of remote working for a while now. If you look at the tasks accountants do, like reviewing accounts, preparing financial documents, advising on tax issues, and creating budgets, usually there's no reason you can't do this remotely. For this one, you need formal qualifications and you have to be registered. And you have to be a registered accountant in the country you're operating in, even if you're video conferencing from the beach. Number 7. Lawyer, $110,000 to $130,000 a year. When it comes to lawyers, there are a lot of different types of lawyers out there with all kinds of specialties and niches, and it's true not all of them can be done online, especially if you're going to have to appear in court. Although keep in mind, since the pandemic started, courtrooms around the world have become more flexible, so they have started to allow appearances by video link. Legal jobs have instantly moved to the digital world like many others and are now making their way into the list of the highest paying remote jobs. Like accountants, you don't need to be based in the country you're operating in and registered there as a lawyer. And with this one too, there's no way around the qualifications, you need a law degree. But if you've got those covered, there are plenty of specializations in law that can be done remote. These include virtual patent lawyers, remote research lawyers, and independent estate attorneys. Most lawyers earn quite a lot of money. If you want to read up more about it, check out the 15 richest lawyers in the world. Number 8. Actuary, $90,000 to $100,000 a year. Like the last two jobs we talked about, here's another old-fashioned one you can totally do online. Even though it's a job title that's not quite as well known as lawyer or accountant, it's one that's increasingly in demand, and it's been predicted that the number of actuaries will rise by 20% over the next decade. If you don't know what actuaries do, they use statistical models to perform risk assessments and usually work either in the insurance industry or doing risk analysis for companies. Like lawyers and accountants, you need formal qualifications for this one. An undergraduate degree, usually in math, statistics, or any computer-related stuff, and maybe followed up with specialist qualifications in actuarial sciences. Number 9. Product designer, $50,000 to $140,000 a year. Here's another job role in the tech world that involves developing apps, websites, and software, and one that could be earning you big bucks from your living room. A product designer is in charge of developing a tech product from start to finish, from coming up with a concept and doing the market research to developing and testing it all the way through to finally delivering it. Besides design and programming skills, it requires a lot of creativity and knowledge of the market. Just like the other tech jobs, you need to have a background in tech or design, as well as a flair for coming up with ideas and getting creative. Number 10. Senior business analyst, $60,000 to $100,000 a year. Business analysts work closely with teams in companies to get a deep understanding of how they deal with customers and all the processes that they get ongoing, and they improve and streamline it all to make sure everything is as effective as possible. With more and more teams working through teleconferencing apps, business analysts can get down to business from anywhere they want to work from. To get into it, you want a qualification in something business related, experience working in a relevant field and managing people, and excellent communication and management skills. Number 11. IT security consultant, $100,000 to $130,000 a year. Now we're working online more and the internet is becoming an even bigger part of our lives. Guess what else that means? Internet security is becoming more important too. Tech industry provides some of the highest paying remote jobs. IT security consultants usually work for a big company and check their network security and make them aware of risks where they exist. And yes, you suggested it, because you're working with their systems online, you can work remotely. To do this job, you need past experience working in IT security, and to stand a good chance of getting employed, a license of certification in IT security is highly recommended, as well as some experience in IT security. Number 12. Technical support engineering, $75,000 to $100,000 a year. Most big companies can afford to have on-site teams of tech support. Smaller ones usually can't, and they need someone to do it for them. All thanks to remote viewing apps, you can do it from anywhere in the world. Are you the kind of person who's great at solving people's networks problems? Yep, the person everyone goes to for help when their computer's acting up. Then this could be something to look into, and to get into it, you generally want a qualification in something computer related. Number 13. Recruiter, $50,000 to $80,000 a year. A recruiter's job is to source and bring in the best candidates for whatever job opening your client needs to fill. And it's so important for companies to get the right staff. If you're good at it, it can definitely pay well, and thanks to teleconferencing, it's being done remote and more and more. To become a remote recruiter, you want to have experience working in the human resource department and sales skills, basically because when you're bringing somebody into a job, you're selling the job to them. Number 14. Senior copywriter, $50,000 to $80,000 a year. Copywriting means creating text that's well enough worded to get people to react to it. Whether that's to buy something or at least put themselves on a mailing list, it's a really important part of marketing, and if you can write with flair and get results, it can pay well. For this job, you don't need any specific qualifications, although some experience in the field or something related to like journalism may help. What you do need though is experience, and to work your way up, you need to gradually put together a portfolio of successful marketing campaigns you've written for. Number 15. Digital marketer, $60,000 to $80,000 a year. Whenever we open up Facebook, Instagram, do a Google search, or even when we check our mail, part of what we are seeing is the work that digital marketers have done. Yep, they are behind the online art and marketing that comes up on our feeds. A digital marketer's job is to take care of the client's entire web presence. That includes their websites, their blog, their search engine rankings, and their entire advertising strategy. For this one, you don't need any formal qualifications. On the topic of getting into marketing, check out our video on why marketing degrees are useless. And you'll find other ways that you can get skills and experience you need. But you do need to be a social media savvy. If you clock up serious numbers of likes on social media and know how to get people's attention online, that's a good start. Next, you need to get experience and start working your way up. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do not forget to hit the like button, drop a comment below, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos.